Hey everyone, happy Sunday night. Welcome to my home. This is gonna be real and authentic because I have a puppy in the background who likes to choke on bones, and I have a big dog who likes to get mad at the puppy. And Paisley and Tucker are still up, so who knows what's gonna happen. But I thought I don't get to sit and paint with you guys right now, and that's super sad, especially as we celebrate our 5-year anniversary. So I thought, for those of you who bought Take and Makes this week, which I am so thankful for the business, I really, really appreciate it. I can't even express how humbling it's been to have so many of our makers reach out and support us and buy kits and everything and spread the news and share our page. It really means a ton, guys. So I know I say that every video and it's probably getting old, but gratitude is important. So, all right, so you guys caught me. I'm totally doing the video conferencing thing. I'm like business on the top and party below. I am in my PJ pants, so don't judge. Okay, anyway, so I thought I'd go over how to paint at home. And I think I do a lot of these videos in the studio, so people think, well, it can only be done in the studio. But I'm gonna prove it can be done at home, and my goal is that I have everything right by me and I'm not gonna have to get up. We'll see. All right, so when you get a Take and Make kit from us, it includes any project. We do all of our projects as Take and Make kit. So you can do everything as big as a porch sign, a frame sign, a couple's lyric sign, interchangeables, everything. But I thought, for the sake of your attention span, I would do a mini tonight and show you a couple hacks, especially when we're painting. He's gonna play with his lamb chop. Okay, thanks, Ollie. But especially a couple hacks as we're painting with kids. So one of the things I love to do when my kids are painting at home is I use cookie trays. I don't know about you guys, but cookie trays are my solution for everything. If they're gonna play with slime or Play-Doh or paint or anything, I just have different size cookie trays because they wash off and I can throw them in the dishwasher, and it's just an easy hack. So those who bought Take and Makes for your kids, that's my parenting hack for the day. Okay, so we're gonna paint this. So it comes with your board, your stencil, you have a little piece of sandpaper, you have a yellow sponge, some white sponges, a distressing brush, and then of course your paints and directions. So all of our directions, Jenny just made these and I love them, but it says, when you finish your project, hashtag it with hashtag PGM at home, take home. That way we can see all of your fun and successes. So it has step-by-step directions here. So if you're more of a visual learner, you have that. But for those of you who are auditory, that's why I'm gonna do this. So you have something to go and reference. All right, so the first steps first is I'm going to, this poor dog, Ollie is attacking Molly right now. I am so sorry. Ollie, no. Ollie. Our lab is like 12 years old and she does not want anything to do with this puppy. So I am so sorry. Okay, back to business. I told you it was gonna be real and authentic. He's still causing a ruckus. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna use, so it comes with 3 paints, and I paid an extra $1 and I got 4, just because I really like color. I like extra colors. So I got my 4. So your first step is to paint. I probably should have got a little bit bigger cookie tray. I got the smallest one we own, but that's okay. Our first step is we're gonna do our backgrounds. So with our backgrounds, we're gonna use our yellow sponges. The biggest thing when you paint is you always wanna remember a little bit of paint goes a really long way. You never need to glop paint or make it shiny on your board because we paint on hardwood surfaces for the most part. We have a few projects that are soft pine, but for the most part, we use the hardwood. So if you use too much paint, you're just pushing wet paint around the board and having an exercise in frustration. You're gonna watch these dogs go crazy behind me. All right, so I have number 9, our web gray. And when I do this, I really want to mash the paint in. So this is the part where you can kind of take out some of those frustrations of being trapped at home, right? I know a lot of you that have kids are starting like real homeschooling next week. And the poor teachers in Nassau County have to still report. And I know they're doing everything they can to make that as seamless as possible. Uh-oh, Ollie's in the pantry. All right, so I did, Jessica, you always do extra colors. Well, and what's great is if you do purchase a couple take and makes from us or you buy extra colors, keep them. They last for at least a month or so usually, maybe 2 weeks. But you can use them for other projects. So unless you're using it for a background, you very rarely will use it all. And you'll see I'm doing a background and I'm just barely using this paint here. So you always want to make sure to get your edges. So you have a nice finished looking project. And depending if you're going to display it on a shelf, you know, if it's a mini, you might want to do both sides. And then if you want a little darker, you can just go ahead and do a second layer. But you'll see I'm really mashing this paint into the board in nice even layers and making sure anything that looks shiny, I'm just spreading back out. All right, so I got my background. You already had 1 week of homeschool in Duval. It wasn't so bad, just hard to work at home at the same time. That I agree with. Jessica, it's like, now I am blessed, you know, for those of you that are ordering, I'm bringing the kids up to the studio and they're working in the private party room, and then I run and do orders and then I come help them. So they've been pretty good, but it's a lot. And then to have 2 of them. All right, so if you guys are here, talk with me. I want it to feel like we have a real project. And I'm trying not to get paint on my counter because my husband will kill me. Okay, so I'm lucky enough I have outlets in my bar here. So then once you get it to this step, I recommend blow drying unless you like watching paint dry. That's always fun. Hi Lillian, we love you. I know we miss our toddlers. All right, so I'm just painting. Or I'm not painting, I'm blow drying. And when you blow dry, or when it's drying, the biggest thing that you want to do is make sure that it's not cool to touch. It should feel like bone dry. If it's got a little bit of dampness, or if it feels cold, it's not dry enough. And that's going to affect how easily your stencil goes on. Okay, so I've got this dry, and now I want to do a little bit of dry brush distressing. So I chose black for my dry brush distressing color. And to limit yourself a little bit, and this is a great hack when you have little ones painting with you, is don't give yourself or them the whole paint container because you tend to overdo it. So we're gonna use the dry brush for dry brush distressing. I'm gonna dip just the top of it in there, and then I wanna mash it heavily on a paper towel so it looks like everything's off. And then I just want to do these nice Tai Chi strokes, back and forth, all the way on, all the way off. And the more level you are with that and going edge to edge and not picking up your brush, the more consistent it'll look. But that's not to say that's the only way to do it. If you want to get in here and make some parts look more than others, that's fine. But just make sure every time you dip, you remember to unload it on a paper towel again. And by doing this, it gives it a little bit of aged or weathered look, kind of like Joanna Gaines kissed it. And I love it because I think it just makes it not look like just a plain solid board, but there are some designs that lean themselves to being more solid. So don't feel like you have to do this step. I just personally like to distress everything. So that's kind of how my board's turning out so far. Now, you probably, if you don't do a whole lot of de-stressing, you don't have to blow dry again. But just to be sure, I'm just going to give it a really quick blow dry. I haven't used this blow dryer in forever because I've got one of those blow dryer brush things. And it's really cool. If you don't have one, you need to do that. I normally do a lighter color, never thought to distress with a darker. Oh, see, and I almost always go with the darker color. There are times if I'm doing like a beachy look, I'll do a lighter color. But I love to do darker colors. I just think it like cements it into the board. Hi, there's a lot of you watching. I'm super excited. All right, so now when we paint, we're done with our brush. So I'm gonna put that to the side. When we paint, we raise the grain structure in a board. So we kind of need that grain structure to lay back down, and so we can get our stencil to stick. So I'm gonna use the little piece of included sandpaper, and just nice and even, I'm just gonna kind of sand it back down. I typically only go one way, but depending on how it's looking, you can go however you'd like. And some colors, like our lighter gray, our software, will kind of naturally distress when you sand it, and that's really cool. And then it's time to put your stencil on. Okay, so I have this stencil, which I thought was so important for everybody to remember. Despite everything going on, despite how many birthdays are having to be, you know, celebrated differently. I know 2 friends of ours that come into the studio all the time had their wedding today, and they ended up doing like a virtual live video. So I think people are being really creative, but I know it's not the heart and soul that people wanted to put into those events. So this is my motivation for the day. You will be okay. Storms don't last forever. Quotes mean a lot to me. It's why I started this business. And I think it's important. You know, I've never seen a storm last forever. It ends eventually. And so we're going to come out of the storm sometime. I'm just not sure when. Oh, you made this one today too, Lena. That's awesome. I remember cutting it. I think this was the 3rd one I cut for your order. All right, so when you're peeling, you just want to peel nice and low and slow. If anything starts coming up, like you can kind of see the U coming up, just push back forward. The biggest thing when you're doing this step is you don't want any blue to be on that white. So you just want to keep kind of doing this rocking motion. My kids are trying to escape the playground. And then this one happened to not get weeded all the way, so you won't have to do this stuff. Okay, so then you have your stencil, and it's sticky on one side, and you got the transfer on another. So all you want to do is line it up on your board. Oh, see, I said I didn't want to get up. But all of my credit cards are in my phone. That's videotaping. Oh, hi, Jennifer. You had a big sign. You had that big friend sign. That was a doozy. All right, so typically you're going to use a card to scrape all these bubbles out. I'm being lazy and trying not to leave you guys, so we're going to see if this works. And I'm really just burnishing this on here. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get up and go get a card. Oh, I think it's going to do it. So then you're just going to take this clear layer and just peel it back. Hi, Margaret. Thanks for joining us. And Katie and Amanda. I've got all my friends on here. All right, so if anything starts to come up, or if you sneeze and you drop it, you're just going to kind of do that same rocking motion to get it to stick back down. Do know that your darker colors like navy and everything tends to be a little more stubborn with that. When you do a live video and you don't stick your stencil on straight, that's always fun. We're gonna go with it though, and you guys are gonna forgive me, right? And then tomorrow we'll paint. No mistakes, just happy little accidents. All right, so you won't do that part. That's me fixing my errors. Elena, my daughter, loved making hers. All the kids did. She's watching this with me. Hi, Elena. I'm glad you liked painting with us. Paisley loves to paint too. But she's watching a TV show right now. She might help me teach toddler time this week. Virtually. We'll see if I can get her to do that. All right. My line's not going to be straight because I messed up, but just pretend it's not. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to jump on here, when you're choosing your colors, always kind of think in opposites. So I have a dark background, so I really want all of the colors I put on there to be light. So your pastels, your whites, anything like that. If it's got too much of a dark tone, you're going to lose it and you won't be able to read it later. So the girls laugh at me all the time because I do everything in mint, and I'm not going to change today. But I will do a surprise color of yellow. Now, another parent hack, or even for yourself, kids love to use a lot of paint, and even adults like to too. If you do the whole thing, you tend to dump too much because the sponge absorbs too much. So again, I love to just dip out of the lids. So I'm gonna dip and then always unload on a paper towel so it really looks like that paint is absorbed into the sponge. And then all you wanna do is have a really nice up and down hopping motion. Your first layer will probably be able to see your background through it. That was Tucker. And that's a good thing. So just let that layer come through. We don't want to overkill our paint because if you use too much, it's only got one place to go, and that's underneath. So I'm gonna dip, unload. You guys, you're supposed to talk to me. We are quarantined. You are my source of entertainment tonight. So tell me about your day. What's something good that you did? I think you guys saw that I posted earlier. I got to paint some windows with Ginger at the nursing home. That was a cool thing. If you are connected with the nursing home, you should reach out and paint some windows. They're super fun. Or send cards. That's another thing. Brighten people's day. Do good. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry, kind of set up my thing there. Now, I'm gonna do my second color. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This one I had sitting outside. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so again, load, unload. And then just straight up and straight down, hop, 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 hop. So the trick to this, and there's not a whole lot of science behind it, is you just don't want to like, I always say you want to be like Elsa. You want to let it go. So I don't want to keep going over a section until it's fully covered because that's when paint's going to have time to slip underneath. So if you let it dry in between layers, it seals those edges of the stencil, and that way you have less bleeds, which is always good. All right, so again, if you do use the whole container, always make sure you're scraping your sponge on the side and then dabbing. Always dab that paper towel before you start doing your second layer. So dip, scrape, mash, mash, hop, 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 hop. It's the next dance move coming to you. It's gonna be as cool as the Macarena. Do you believe me? Tucker's sneaking by. He's too cute. Do you wanna come say hi, Tucker?
Hi. Okay, I'm out of here. Sorry about that, but that was an accident.
You're okay, baby boy. He's my my talkative one. All right, and then I'm gonna do another layer of my mint. So dip, mash, mash, hop, 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 hop. The other thing too is remember that this blue is gonna start playing tricks on your eyes. So once it looks nice and solid and you don't see a lot of variance within the letters, it's probably darker than you think it is. So you don't have to add like 400 layers. You never want it to be too thick on the board. All right, so then I'm gonna close up these paints because I have spilled my paints on projects way too many times. And then I think I'm gonna do this border, even though this black is not gonna stand out on my web gray. I only have 2 sponges. So other hack, if you don't have enough sponges or if you decide to mix colors, you can totally shorten the sponge by cutting the end off. Oh, and then it lands in your paint. All right, so dip, scrape, mash, mash, and then I'm just gonna go around my crooked edge because I was talking to you guys instead of focusing on putting my stencil on straight. So the stencils are cut to line up with the project, so it's not that hard. I just made it hard because I wasn't paying attention. And this is just a little border around this one. Actually, I'm gonna peel that away. This is what's fun about art. You can just kind of go with it. So I want a thicker border. And most of the minis you can do this with. You can go around the edges and make it look like it's almost like a reverse frame. You guys are so quiet. Or I'm not seeing comments. Could be either. All right. And then just check yourself. I went over on that a little bit since I already used my yellow sponge. They're my little random hacks. I'm a messy painter. Some of the girls are super neat and organized. I guess I got the messy gene, but that's okay. It all still works. So the biggest thing to learn from take and makes and projects in general that you do around your house is don't stress. Things can always find a way to be fixed. And the cool thing about paint is you can always paint over it, especially when it's on wood. Hi, Amanda. Hope you are doing well in this crazy quarantine situation. All right, so at the studio we have nifty little tweezers, but I decided to be authentic tonight and do it like I was truly at home, even though I have tweezers in my garage too. I have tweezers everywhere. In my car, I wash them. Sometimes they stab me, everything. All right, so you don't need it to dry a whole lot. We're just gonna let it, kind of set for a second. So what I did is I grabbed a tack. So tacks work pretty well. Safety pins can work really well. All those things. So this is where you guys can really see the lighter colors just pop on the dark backgrounds. And then when you're taking these centers out, all you really need to do is just kind of push to get underneath it, and then they pop right out. I'm not gonna lie, I think I like the tack better than the safety pin, but that's just me. Everyone has their own favorite hacks. All right, we're almost done. I was just looking up to see if anyone was seeing anything. All right, so I hear a lot of times people are like, I'm not gonna get these, I won't have time. Right now, you have time probably. You're home more than you think you usually are. A lot of stuff's canceled. So it's fun to create and craft. And then you can have quotes that serve as amazing reminders to yourself that things are gonna be okay. And they'll bring you joy all the time. So we're getting serious over here. Ollie, no. Ollie, that was mean. All right, he stole a bone. So anyway, there's our project. You will be okay. Storms don't last forever. We're gonna get through this together. I'll try and jump on here and craft a different project maybe tomorrow. I want to paint a door hanger, maybe. Although we have a new door hanger that's already painted. I gotta get on my door. Jenny designed it, it's awesome. So anyway, hope you guys are well. We miss you so much in the studio. Remember, Take and Makes are on sale, 20% off through tomorrow. Is tomorrow the 31st? No, tomorrow's the 30th. So through the 31st, Take and Makes are 20% off. So be sure to jump on and order that. The promo code is TakeHome20. If you're not local to us and you don't want to do curbside pickup, we have curbside pickup Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So you can do that. Otherwise, we do have limited local delivery in the area, or we have free shipping over $75. So if you have a couple people in your area that want to order some, or if you want to get some for the family, we'll ship them to you for free for $75. Also, check our post. We posted a bunch of ceramics that came in that are super cute, great for Easter baskets and stuff. And those can be take-home kits too, and also save that 20% off. So thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that you have an amazing night. Make it a good one. Take a journal, take a piece of paper, and I challenge you to write one thing every day that you're grateful for. And maybe it'll turn this crazy situation into finding what's good about kind of being forced to slow down, kind of being forced to look at things differently. I know for me, we're able to kind of finally move into the house that we moved into 2 years because it's not as crazy. So we got some flowers planted and stuff. So, but the one bad thing is these kids snack all day long. She's searching the pantries right now. Aren't you, Paisley?
What?
You're searching the pantry. Come say hi. Oh, she's not gonna come say hi. All right. Bye, y'all.
Hi.
Oh, she's in the back.
The ultimate bracelet.
There is Paisley Grace from Paisley Grace Bakery. Say have a good night.
Have a good morning.